Okay, the question is picking ME and DE exercises. To be honest, it's a little bit random, but usually like in a 3-week wave, for your lower exercises, you'll probably do a good morning, a deadlift, and a squat. And then, for your DE work, it's always going to be a squat, but, maybe 1 week chains, next week bands, next week both, or something different, or really heavy chains, really light chains, something. But just, keeping it varied. Here, especially since we've got a team, a lot of times it's just going to depend on what everybody else is doing, where you can work in the best. But then, as you lead up to a meet, you're naturally going to, start doing less band resistance, less chain weight, arranging your exercises so that, hi airplane, arranging your exercises so that you're, tapering off and getting ready for the meet more. But yeah, that's about it. Alright, the question is basically your inner thigh and your groin being sore after squatting. Nobody is really sure exactly what it is, but in my experience, it's usually happened when I either squat really wide or like when I was first starting to get used to doing a sumo deadlift, or I hadn't deadlifted in a while. I think it just comes from the really wide stance and utilizing muscles that you don't normally use, as much at least. And usually when that happens to me, it's just stretching out your groin and everything and just resting, because there's not a whole lot else you can do about it.
This question is about drop sets and if we do those after we work up to a max. I would say sometimes yes. Typically we always try to do a second barbell movement for sets of like 5. Sometimes that will be a drop set of what your ME movement was, and then sometimes you'll do a different movement. I think it's more common on bench day to do drop sets because you're benching. And if you do it on like squat and deadlift day, usually you do the opposite movement of whatever you did, so you're not as likely to do drop sets.
What about if you only got like one set in at a heavy weight before you failed?
Oh, if you do that, I would drop back down to 90% of whatever you got and get 2 more singles, because you always want to get 3 to 5 singles at 90% or above.